Chapter 11. Sammy's Love. On day 5, Hawk announced that they would be spending the day in the Chamber of Clearings by Spirit. The colored mist was lifting once again, and there sat the little tortoiseshell cat, Sammy. Hawk told Willow that Sammy's stomach was bloated and that almost overnight she had become very thin. She would not eat or use her litter box. Willow noted that the animal healer was present once again. Hawk told Willow that, like Sheena, Sammy too lived a distance away. In fact, the animal healer and Sammy were an entire country apart. He went on to explain that the animal healer was going to send Sammy a deep healing, and it was something she called a clearing by spirit. Hawk explained that clearings and animal communication are often used together, and he suggested that she watch very closely. Again, Willow was reminded that this clearing would be sent a great distance. The woman began the clearing ritual, with her usual chanting, lighting of a white candle, and placing Sammy's picture in front of her. Willow heard the animal healer asking that all positive and sacred energies assist with the healing of little Sammy the cat. The healer's arms were moving in every direction, and again she called out to the Creator for healing to occur. The animal healer once again began to move her arms as though they were wings of a bird, and briefly Willow thought she saw the woman become the bird. Yes, she could see clearly that the animal healer had transformed herself into a beautiful white dove. The essence of the dove soared a very long distance to Sammy. When the dove arrived, she soared around Sammy's shoulder and neck area 3 times in a counterclockwise direction. Then the dove flew to the top of Sammy's head to her crown area, hovered briefly, and then flew from Sammy's crown down the entire length of the front of Sammy's body. Once complete, the dove began to circle Sammy's body 3 times in a clockwise direction this time, at approximately hip level. Hawk asked if Willow had noticed the details of what the dove had done, and she said that she had. It reminded her of a beautifully choreographed dance, and it was a sight to behold. During the clearing, Sammy showed the animal healer her sadness and all that was upsetting Sammy. The animal healer explained to Sammy that the sun loved her just as much as ever and that nothing had changed. The woman asked if Sammy would reconsider her feelings, and Sammy said she would try. Willow wondered what all of this meant. Although the clearing was now complete, the story continued to unravel, and soon Willow's question would be answered. Willow was being shown that Sammy's human's eldest son had moved back into the family home and had brought with him a cat by the name of Little Bit. Sammy had always been very enamored with the son and still was. He was her love. Willow noted that the son's cat, Little Bit, even looked like Sammy. Willow saw that every time Little Bit came into a room, Sammy growled and hissed and then ran to her human's bedside, where she would hide under the bed. Hawk explained to Willow that Sammy was so upset about him bringing home Little Bit that she no longer allowed her human to pet her, to hold her, or to love her. Sammy would not eat and was becoming ill. Both Sammy and her human were miserable. The mist covered the images briefly and then parted to expose a new vision. As Willow watched the vision of the morning after the clearing, she saw that something had changed. Sammy had come out of hiding for treats, and she had even eaten her breakfast and also used her litter box. On the human's return home from work that night, Sammy and Little Bit were sitting together at the door waiting. Sammy had come to terms with the situation and with Little Bit. Willow found it interesting how Sammy seemed to mellow whenever Sammy's human showed her an image of the animal healer who had sent her the clearing. It was clear that although this healing had taken place a great distance away, Sammy recognized the essence of the animal healer who had communicated with her. This was all very amazing for Willow. Willow's head was spinning with knowledge. This is what she had wished for all of her life. She was overcome with joy and emotion. As she wept, she wondered how she could ever thank Hawk and all those involved with gifting her with these precious teachings. Willow and Hawk were now on their way to the chamber of the Rainbow Bridge. Willow took her usual position as she awaited her next lesson. This would be a very emotional lesson for her, but a lesson that might be one of the most important of all, and it needed to be taught.